We are the team number 5, and we are going to introduce what we do in practice 5 and 6.
In this practice, we had two objectives. One was to be able to find out whether a chemical bond was ionic or covalent, depending on the properties of some reactions that we did.
In this chromatography practice, what the team do was to put a little drop of some compound, liquid compound, in a filter paper and then put that paper into water in order to see the highest point of heat that they reach.
No, de hecho es que fueron los amigos.
Complete.
The second one was to find whether an element was metal or non-metal, depending on its physical properties.
What the team do first was to check the solubility of some compounds, first in water and then repeat this, but now in CCl4. After that, the team takes solid compounds and liquid compounds and add 1 milliliter of water in order to check the voltage and to see if they were conductors or not. Then the team take a sample of pure compound and check the temperature of its ebullition point, and experimentally and theoretically.
Complete.
What did I learn in these two practices? Well, first of all, personally, I didn't know how the bonds worked because, yes, I learned that the last semester, but I didn't know how they actually look like, and it was pretty interesting. Also, I learned that the metals are really good conductors of electricity.
What I learned in these practices was that there are different compounds that have different characteristics and physics and chemical characteristics. These characteristics can be the solubility or the conductivity, and the conductivity usually is a property of metals, and the solubility is usually a characteristic of not solids.
Well, what I learned in these two last practices was how to recognize the characteristics of different compounds and how to take advantage of them so we could know the best method of separation to use. For example, in the lab when we wanted to know how a color was composed, we used chromatography, which let us see the individual components of the color, and that was what I mainly learned in these practices.
This practice was very useful because it let us use different methods that we had already used, but this time we would actually use it for something more or less useful. And also I think that heating up the metals was pretty cool.
Well, what we learned in these two last practices as team was that there exist many ways or different types of methods to separate a compound or substances, and also we learned that each substance or compound has different physical or chemical characteristics like fusion point, boiling point, or solubility in water or any other liquid, and this also helps us to know which method to use so we can separate them.